War has shaped empires and redrawn the world's map, but its nature is ever-changing. Technology drives this evolution, turning old tactics into relics and forging new ways to fight. From swords and shields to drones and digital warfare, each invention has redefined power and defense. This is the story of conflict's transformation, told through the weapons that changed everything. From the trenches of World War I, the machine gun changed warfare forever, forcing innovation like the tank to break the deadlock. The jet engine then brought speed and air supremacy, making the sky a new battlefield. Simplicity ruled with the AK-47, arming armies and revolutionaries alike. Now, drones redefine combat, raising new questions about war and accountability. These weapons didn't just win battles, they changed the world. Before the machine gun, battlefields echoed with single shots and bayonet charges. Soldiers fought in disciplined lines, reloading between volleys, their courage and skill tested with every shot. Warfare was personal, brutal, and slow. Bright uniforms, flags flying, generals on horseback. But the Industrial Revolution was stirring. Inventors dreamed of a weapon that could unleash continuous fire. The stage was set for a revolution in war. In 1884, the Maxim gun arrived, not with a cannon's roar, but with a relentless, mechanical rhythm. Sir Hiram Maxim's invention was the world's first true automatic machine gun, firing 600 rounds per minute. It needed only ammunition and water, transforming warfare into an industrial process of death. The Maxim gun's efficiency made survival impossible for those caught in its path, changing battle forever. When World War I began in 1914, generals expected a war of movement and swift victory. But on the Western Front, machine guns tore through advancing troops, making open ground deadly. Survival meant digging in. Simple holes became deep, interconnected trenches, stretching for miles. Barbed wire and mud defined this new, static battlefield. The machine gun had ended old tactics and forced armies underground, changing the very nature of war. The trench system of World War I created a deadly stalemate. No man's land, a barren wasteland between the lines, was ruled by machine guns and artillery. Crossing it meant near certain death. Commanders clung to old tactics, sending waves of men into the fire for little gain. The cost was horrific. Millions lost for yards of ground. Desperate for a breakthrough, engineers envisioned a new machine, one that could cross no man's land and change the war forever. The idea of armored vehicles had existed for centuries, with visionaries like Leonardo da Vinci sketching early designs, but it wasn't until the early 20th century, with the invention of the internal combustion engine and caterpillar tracks, that tanks became possible. In Britain, secret work led to the first prototype, Little Willie, and soon after, the iconic rhomboidal tank. Despite their flaws, these machines broke the stalemate of trench warfare, ushering in a new era on the battlefield. The world got its first glimpse of this new weapon on September 15, 1916, during the ongoing Battle of the Somme. The British deployed fewer than 50 of their new Mark I tanks in a desperate attempt to break the bloody deadlock. The debut was far from a stunning success. Many of the tanks broke down before even reaching the front lines. Others got stuck in the mud or were knocked out by artillery fire. Yet the handful of tanks that did make it into action had an impact that went far beyond their limited numbers. They created panic and terror among the German defenders, who saw them rumbling slowly but unstoppably toward their lines. The psychological shock was immense. German soldiers who were well prepared to mow down waves of infantry, had no immediate answer to these steel beasts. Bullets simply bounced off their hulls. The tanks crushed barbed wire defenses with ease and crawled over trenches, firing their cannons and machine guns directly into the German positions. In some sectors, a single tank was able to achieve what entire battalions had failed to do, capturing objectives with relatively few casualties. While the overall strategic impact on the Battle of the Somme was negligible, the tactical and psychological proof of concept was undeniable. The tank had shown it could work. This initial outing taught crucial lessons. It became clear that tanks needed to be deployed in larger numbers to have a decisive effect. They also needed to work in close cooperation with infantry and artillery in what would later be called combined arms tactics. The Battle of Cambrai in 1917 was the first large-scale massed tank attack in history, where nearly 400 British tanks achieved a stunning breakthrough, advancing several miles in a matter of hours. Though the gains were later reversed due to a lack of reserves to exploit the success, Cambrai confirmed that the tank was the key to unlocking the stalemate of trench warfare. The tank was born in the mud of World War I, but its influence would define land warfare for the next century. From these slow, unreliable steel beasts, a direct lineage can be traced to the sophisticated mobile fortresses of today. The concept of armored warfare evolved rapidly. In World War II, tanks became the spearhead of the German blitzkrieg, combining speed and firepower to achieve lightning-fast victories. In the Cold War and beyond, they became smarter, faster, and more lethal, equipped with advanced armor, powerful engines, and computerized targeting systems. The stalemate was broken, and the age of the tank had begun. As World War II raged, a new sound split the skies, the piercing whistle of the jet engine. The German Me-262, the world's first operational jet fighter, stunned Allied pilots with its speed and power. The jet age had arrived, rendering old tactics obsolete, and igniting a global race for air superiority. The future of air power now belonged to the turbine engine, and the world would never be the same. The Cold War turned the sky into a battleground, as East and West raced for supersonic speed and air superiority. Chuck Yeager shattered the sound barrier, sparking a new era of jet design and high-speed combat. In Korea, F-86 Sabres and MiG-15s clashed in legendary dogfights, proving the power of swept-wing jets. The arms race brought interceptors and advanced fighters like the F-4 Phantom and MiG-25, pushing the limits of speed and technology. These jets became symbols of national power, machines built for a war everyone hoped would never come. By the late 20th century, speed and altitude were no longer enough. The next leap in air power was stealth, aircraft designed to evade detection, not just outrun threats. Stealth technology made jets nearly invisible to radar, shifting the focus from speed to surprise. Today's fifth-generation fighters, like the F-22 and F-35, are flying supercomputers, gathering, processing, and sharing information to dominate the modern battlefield. The journey from speed to stealth has redefined air power, making information and invisibility the keys to supremacy. While superpowers raced for advanced technology, a different revolution was forged on the ground: the AK-47. Born from the mind of Mikhail Kalashnikov after World War II, it was designed for rugged simplicity and reliability. The AK-47 could withstand mud, snow, and neglect. Perfect for the average conscript. Adopted in 1947, it became a symbol of Soviet power and was soon spread worldwide. The People's Rifle would change the face of war forever. The genius of the AK-47 lies in its elegant simplicity and legendary reliability. Its robust gas piston system and loose tolerances make it incredibly forgiving in harsh conditions. Dirt, sand, and mud rarely cause jams. Stories abound of AK-47s firing after being pulled from the mud or sand. This dependability made it the weapon of choice for armies and irregular forces worldwide. Easy to use and maintain, the AK-47 democratized firepower for millions. Decades later, its enduring design still shapes conflicts around the world. As the AK-47 spread beyond the borders of the Soviet bloc, it quickly became more than just a weapon. It became a powerful political and cultural symbol. During the decolonization movements and Cold War proxy conflicts of the 20th century, the rifle was the tool that armed countless insurgencies and national liberation armies. For these groups, the AK-47 represented a challenge to the established order, a means to fight back against colonial powers or oppressive regimes, often armed with Western weapons. Its presence in the hands of fighters from Vietnam to Angola transformed it into a global icon of anti-imperialist struggle and revolution. The image of the AK-47 became deeply embedded in the iconography of rebellion. It appeared on posters, murals, and even national flags, such as that of Mozambique. It was the weapon of Che Guevara and the Viet Cong. In this context, it was seen as the people's rifle, a weapon that empowered the powerless and gave a voice to the disenfranchised. Its simple, rugged nature mirrored the spirit of the guerrilla fighters who wielded it. The rifle did not belong to the polished halls of military academies. It belonged to the jungles, deserts, and mountains where revolutions were fought and won. It was a symbol of defiance, a physical embodiment of the will to resist. However, this same weapon has a much darker legacy. The very qualities that make it an effective tool for a freedom fighter, its availability, lethality, and ease of use, also make it the perfect weapon for terrorists, warlords, child soldiers, and criminal organizations. The AK-47's proliferation has fueled countless civil wars and regional conflicts, bringing unimaginable suffering to civilian populations. In the hands of brutal regimes, it is a tool of oppression. In the hands of terrorist groups, it is an instrument of fear. The same rifle that symbolizes liberation in one context represents pure terror in another. This duality is the ultimate legacy of the Kalashnikov. It is a simple tool of steel and wood, yet it carries the weight of 100 conflicting histories. It is both a liberator and an oppressor, a soldier's rifle and a terrorist's weapon, an icon of freedom and a symbol of fear. No other firearm in history has achieved such a ubiquitous and contradictory status. The AK-47 did not just change infantry tactics, it armed the ideological struggles of an entire era, becoming a permanent and polarizing fixture in the landscape of modern conflict. Its story is a powerful reminder that the impact of a weapon is ultimately defined by the hands that hold it. The evolution of warfare now hums quietly above us. Drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, have transformed the battlefield, detaching war from the warrior. Once used for reconnaissance, drones now provide real-time intelligence and precision strikes, all from afar. The fog of war lifts, replaced by digital clarity. With a joystick instead of a rifle, commanders wage war from a distance, forever changing the psychology and reality of combat. The advent of remote warfare has created a new kind of soldier, the drone operator. Stationed far from danger, these operators engage in combat for a 12-hour shift, then drive home. This separation between battlefield and home front is unprecedented. Operators experience combat through high-fidelity video feeds, creating a unique psychological strain. Studies show they suffer from post-traumatic stress at rates comparable to ground soldiers. The disconnect between their physical safety and the lethal reality they control creates cognitive dissonance. This new warfare raises profound ethical and legal questions. Drone precision can lower the threshold for lethal force, making the decision to kill easier. The remote nature blurs lines of responsibility for mistaken strikes. For civilians, the constant presence of drones creates a climate of fear and resentment. This can drive radicalization, potentially creating more enemies. The drone has changed the rules of engagement, but the consequences are still unfolding. The current generation of drones is only the beginning. The future of unmanned warfare is advancing towards swarming and autonomy. Drone swarms involve networking many small drones to act as a single entity. Inspired by insects, a swarm can overwhelm sophisticated defenses. This technology makes high-value military assets vulnerable. The power of the swarm lies in its decentralized nature. Some drones might handle surveillance, others electronic warfare, and others carry explosives. This creates a flexible, resilient weapon system. Fully autonomous weapons, or slaughterbots, represent the automation of combat. These machines make kill decisions without human intervention, raising moral concerns. The drone has changed war, but its autonomous successor could change human control over conflict. For every revolutionary weapon, countless others faded into obscurity. World War II spurred rapid technological advancement and radical ideas. The German military developed a sound cannon, but it was ineffective. The US embarked on the Bat Bomb project, which was ultimately overtaken by the atomic bomb. Japan developed the Fugo balloon bomb, which had negligible impact. The Soviet Union experimented with rocket tanks, which were uncontrollable. These experiments pushed the boundaries of engineering and tactical thinking. The Fugo balloon bombs were a pioneering example of intercontinental weapons delivery. Soviet rocket tanks contributed to understanding rocketry and propulsion. These failures provided valuable data and pointed the way toward future success. Innovation is built on both failures and triumphs. Even in failure, these experiments refined questions and exposed flaws. They guide the next generation of inventors, ensuring the evolution of warfare continues. Bizarre and failed weapons teach important lessons. They provide crucial data on what does not work, and sometimes point toward future success. The process of innovation is one of trial and error. The Japanese Fugo balloon bombs required understanding high-altitude meteorology. Soviet rocket tanks contributed to rocketry and propulsion knowledge. These failures highlighted the need for sophisticated guidance and control systems. Innovation is not a clean, linear path. For every successful weapon, there are many forgotten alternatives. These experiments refine questions, expose flaws, and guide future inventors. Even in failure, the evolution of warfare continues. We have journeyed through a century of conflict, tracing a line from the trenches to the drone age. The weapons we explored are more than tools. They are engines of change. Each invention created a new military reality and a new set of problems. This cycle of problem and solution drives the evolution of warfare. The increasing distance between soldier and enemy is undeniable. The tank put a layer of steel between the crew and the battlefield. The jet age pushed conflict into a third dimension. The drone allows combat from a control room, turning it into a remote operation. This technological march has transformed tactics, scale, and speed of conflict. The battlefield is now a domain of data, signals, and algorithms. Our tools become more powerful and complex, increasing our capacity for destruction. The unrelenting march of technology continues, showing no signs of slowing. As technology reshapes the battlefield, it also reshapes the warrior. The human element endures immense pressures, from the trenches to the drone operator's console. Each leap in technology redefines the cost of combat and forces us to confront difficult questions about our own humanity. The tools change, but the nature of conflict, its suffering and loss remains. What will the next weapon reveal about who we are becoming?